What's up, YouTube? Flash Speaks back, another video. Well, it was a tough night for our rookies, obviously. We had the first game on was the Chicago Sky, Angel Reese's and Carmela Cardoso's Chicago Sky versus the overpowered All-Star Aces, the Aces All-Stars. And, you know, it was a game that I expected to not pull out, you know, rooting for Chicago here. But, you know, we're going to talk about it a little bit, man. So, just looking at the numbers, you know, Angel Reese was able to grab, like, 18 points, 11 rebounds before the game was over, right? But watching the game, you know, it's different. Okay, the interior defense that the Aces provided, you know, Agent Wilson, who we're going to talk about in a minute, and Stokes was causing problems, the center that they have there, Kia Stokes. She, and is only really a 6'3" center, but she plays a lot bigger as a long wingspan and was giving Cardoso a lot of problems. Same thing with Angel Reese, because sometimes they would match her up on Reese. Sometimes it would be Wilson or Reese. It seemed like pretty much whoever Wilson was on just wasn't scoring. That damn Angel Wilson, boy. My God. Angel Wilson, one of those players, bro. And this is really the story of the night. Both rookies, and we'll get to Caitlin Clark later, went up against players that are just on another level. Just on another level from them. And that's the case with, you know, Angel and Angel Wilson. Angel Wilson gives you one move, going one way. You got some defense for that move, guess what? She take that pivot foot and go the other way. They double her, send a double team, she's shooting over that shit. Right? She got an answer for everything. This is what you call a prime player. A generational player in their prime. She got a big old bag. And it ain't no cheap bag. And, you know, I remember growing up, you know, I don't know all the women's bags. A Louis Vuitton bag. Or whatever bag is the most expensive bag. Asia got that. She got something for whatever your defense is. And we're talking about Angel Reese is a prime defender. Hell of a defensive rating. Same thing with Cardoso. To Asia, shit don't matter. Now, at the start of the game, I mean, you know, the numbers make it look like it was a little bit competitive in the beginning. You know, we're talking about Chicago actually won the first quarter 25-21. But me watching excellent teams for years and knowing I just knew the Aces were just kind of like filling them out. You know what I mean? It wasn't a real 25-21. It was a nice little effort, you know, good little job. Then the Aces turned around that second quarter and outscored them 25-14. All right, so this is when the game kind of went open. Now, part of the problem is Teresa Witherspoon has to put together a better second lineup. When she goes to that second lineup, this is where things get out of hand, because the Aces, you know, would still leave either Wilson in there or they might just leave Plum in there. See, they have the luxury of being able to do that. They can leave a Jackie Young in there, and all of these players are franchise players on their own right. Kelsey Plum is good enough to be the leader of our own team and build around. Jackie Young is good enough to be the leader of our own team and build around. And we already know about Asia, she's the best player in the world. So they have that luxury to do that. I think what Teaspoon should have done was she would have to crash the minutes in a different way, where maybe you keep Kennedy in there with that second team, or you keep Angel in there, or Cardoso, one of them. You can't just kind of take out the whole starting lineup and put in that second unit, as that second unit was getting smoked. And we saw it happen, a version of it in the first half, and then we saw really horrible, really bad version of it in that the second half. All right, so first it was A'ja Wilson getting off, doing her thing. I mean, she's scoring over everything. She does not give a fuck. Doesn't matter. Okay. She then, when she decided, all right, I done ate enough, then Jackie Young goes and starts eating. Oh man. So A'ja ends with 31 and 6. Jackie Young with 22. All right. Then in the second half, what happened? Chicago's making a little comeback. All right. So now they sit A'ja and they sit my goodness, what's going on? Young. And then they run this lineup with just Kelsey Plum, and Clark and Hayes and just other players. And Plum just start cooking. She ends up with 21. I mean, the Aces are just, they're just a team. They can just toy with you. Kelsey Gray chips in 8, 5 assists. She's kind of like getting back in the groove. She did 27 minutes. I think this is the most she's done since she's been back. So they're getting her back in the groove. So, like I said, now I'm proud of the Sky because I don't feel like they ever quit. Those are the things I look at. I look at body language. I look at quitting. I look at whether or not someone has the fight in them to possibly come back. And I feel like the Sky never quit, even though they were overmatched. They didn't let that seep into their head that they're overmatched. I never got that feeling from watching them in the game. The Aces are just too damn good, and they're a team that you learn from. Just not ready for them right now. You got to move some pieces. Players got to develop. All of that has to happen. Right now, the Aces are a team that it's their league right now. It's kind of theirs to lose. Now, there's a few teams I believe that can challenge them, but ultimately, when you look at that team, they are the team to be, and they are the blueprint for how you build a winner. And we're going to return back to that again, okay, because I got to talk about that a lot when we deal with the Fever. The Aces are the blueprint of how you build a winner in the WNBA. Not the NBA, the WNBA. The WNBA is a different monster than the NBA. The NBA is a league that's more watered down. They have almost 32 teams, right? 28, whatever. I think the NBA is 32 teams. So the talent pool is much more watered down. So in the NBA, you can have one superstar and a bunch of role players and get to the playoffs. It can happen. LeBron James has done it. Joel Embiid has done it. Luka Doncic has done it. Like, it's possible. In the WNBA, you can't do that. You have to have multiple great players on your team. And you need to remember that. So now we go to the second game. Fever versus the Storm. My goodness. This game was similar to what I expected. The first thing that automatically jumps out to you is how athletic the Storm is. My God. Like, if you want to build a team that is going to just dominate as far as getting to all the loose balls and getting to spots and all of those types of things, that's the team. It's a horrible matchup for a team like the Fever. The Fever want to try to run, but they're not really that fast. You know what I mean? It's like they want to run up the pace, but they're not really built to play at a pace with a team like the Storm that got athletes all throughout. Long striders, fast twitch players. It's like they'll beat the Fever 10 out of 10, or at least 9 out of 10, because just the sheer athleticism of the players. And then you add that to the skill set. For those who watched, did you watch Jewell Loyd? Okay, because I listened to a couple of people who've done reviews, And, they just say, oh, Jewell Loyd killed him. No. Take a moment and let's talk about this young lady, Jewell Loyd. Jewell Loyd is an example, okay, of what Dr. Umar Johnson, what Dr. Michael Eric Dyson, I'll even add Tariq Nasheed, I'll throw him in there, what they say. And it is that if you are a black player, you oftentimes got to be twice as good to get half as much. And it's a statement that a lot of our older people tell. Like my uncle used to tell me that. He said, boy, when you on that job and you out there with them white boys and all of that, trust me, you got to be twice as good to get half as much. Now, I ain't always buy into it, this and that, right? I ain't always buy into it. I always believe, shit, I'm going to be good. I don't walk around with that type of thinking, but that doesn't change the fact that that is a sentiment. A talent like Jewell Loyd should be getting $1 million damn. A talent like Jewell Loyd should be selling out seats. A talent like Jewell Loyd should be pumped because that girl is phenomenal. If you're talking about you want to watch a basketball player play and dominate, that player is phenomenal. I could not imagine if Caitlin Clark had the talent of Jewell Loyd. Just look at the type of, all these people say, I just want to watch Caitlin Clark play, watch her. She sold this and sold that. Could you imagine if she was Jewell Loyd? Now, I know none of you think she's Jewell Loyd. Just from the athleticism standpoint, the fast twitchiness, the start and stop. It's like Barry Sanders out there, dribbling the damn ball. See how she deals with the double team versus how Caitlin deals with the double team. Now, mind you, they are both rookies. I mean, Caitlin is a rookie and Jewell Loyd is more like an intern in her prime. But just still watch it. Because a lot of you can play, oh, she deals with double team, this and that. Oh, no. It got to a point where the fever trying to double Loyd. But watch how she deals with it. Does it lead in turnovers? Is she able to dribble through defenders at times? It's just a different level of skill. And she don't even play like this all the time, but when she play against Caitlin Clark, man, it's like she can't miss. Because she trying to show the world, listen, yeah, I'm going to show you what skill is. I'm going to show you what talent is. I'm going to show you what box office looks like. And it's the truth. It was not even close. If I got a choice to pay money to go watch somebody, I'm paying to go watch Jewell Loyd versus someone like Caitlin Clark. And that's not hating on Caitlin Clark. It just is what it is. Now, Caitlin Clark is entertaining to watch in her own way. Them logo threes and all of that, the catch and shoot, some of that shit make you say, wow. A lot of the passes that she make, wow. But Jewell Loyd got the Kobe Jordan type of effect. Those are the players you think about when you watch her play. It's like you've been watching Jordan. You watching Kobe, right? It's just different. But Loyd goes out there and scores 34. She was on a heater all night. Started out 15 points in the first quarter. And then she gets poked in the eye by one of the Fever players. I think it was Hull or it was Lexi Hull or Samuelson, one of them. I think Lexi Hull. I'm not one of them. This is another example. Had that happen to Caitlin Clark, we know we're going to hear about she's being attacked. Let Caitlin Clark be in a game where she scores 15 points in the first quarter. And then have her eye poked out by a black player. And see what will happen. Jewell Loyd's eye was poked out by a white player. No, just think about it. And this is no harm. And I'm not coming at these brothers. But I was actually on a live stream where, it's held by, a brother, and we were watching the game. And she was poked in the eye. And immediately, everyone on the stream Immediately say, oh, no, that was inadvertent. She's not trying to hurt Loyd, such and such. Immediately. And you know what? I think that's a good thing. Me being sarcastic, I said, no, she did it on purpose. That's what I did. And the only reason I did that, and I don't even believe she did it on purpose. The only reason I did that is because every time it's the other way, whenever it's like something happened to Caitlin Clark, it's always an assumption that it was on purpose. Always an assumption that it was on purpose. Always an assumption that it was on purpose. But when it's and you know who does it, who says it, okay? But when it's the flip side, black people, we're always quick to give the benefit of the doubt, especially to white people. But I believe this is a good thing this is a good quality that we have. But you got to also understand that that ain't how the other people operate. Angel Reese was without a doubt was going for a block. And you have an arm that's attached to a hand. The hand is going for the ball. And you have an arm that's attached to the hand. And when you're swiping, okay, she catches her with part of her arm. I can't tell you how many people walking around here claiming that it was on purpose. Disgraceful. Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. But you hear no people about something that's real dangerous. A fingernail into the eye? Oh yeah, that's real shit. That little thing, the Angel Reese, whatever, with Caitlin Clark, that was a joke compared to that. A finger in the eye. And Jewell Loyd still comes back, still sizzles them for another 19 points later. Man, oh man, oh man. I don't know what it is y'all think is nice to watch or that you want to see. But for my money, I want to watch a performer like Jewell Loyd. But back to that game. I believe the Seattle Storm are just a bad matchup for the Fever at this time. Caitlin Clark was making some good passes in the game. But then there were times she ends up with 7 turnovers. Then there were times where she's just making, I believe it was 6 turnovers, excuse me. But there are times when she's trying passes that did not work because of the athleticism of the opponent. And, she has to clean that up, without a doubt. I heard another stream from a brother, man, who I like his channel, but he's starting to disappoint me now because now he's running with narratives about her teammates not liking her and all of that. I'm trying to figure out, what does any of that have to do with what the hell happened on against the Storm? Do you believe, right? Because this thing now the person that's under attack now is Kelsey Mitchell. Like, he said he's literally watching the game to see the interaction between Mitchell and Clark. You're judging Mitchell's game based on whether or not she's passing the ball to Caitlin Clark. That's a horrible way to judge. When you look at a basketball game, you have to look at the entire picture. You can't look at it from a micro level like that. You got to look at it from a macro level. You got to step back and watch the whole entire picture. Like you watch it like it's like a symphony orchestra. You got to watch the whole thing. The movement on the part of the team, everywhere. Sure, there were times when Caitlin is running open and free to get a pass and Wheeler didn't catch her and Kelsey Mitchell didn't catch her at times. But you know what? That actually happens. I see Jewell Loyd running for openings and stuff like that. Like, if you look at the Seattle Storm, I believe, really? I think they should give Jewell Loyd the ball every fucking time. Like, if you watch it, it's like, yo, this girl's spectacular. I just want to watch her score. Because just the way she look, her form, everything. I just want to watch her score. But there are times in the game where she's not getting the ball. The other players are just doing what they're doing. Right? That's basketball. To try to look at a game where your only focus is on whether or not teammates are giving the ball to one player is weird to me. It's weird to me. The 2001 76ers were very Allen Iverson centric. But there were times Iverson standing over there and and Eric Snow bring the ball up, and he passes it to Lynch or he passes it to Ratliff or something like that, and they have nothing to do with Iverson. Some plays down the court. That's just the way it is. Like, I don't understand what basketball y'all watch. And then you're not factoring in the times where Caitlin Clark has the ball and she's going up against just a defender. Horston. There was a point in the game, it was just Horston on her one-on-one. Long, lanky, athletic defender. And Caitlin Clark ain't want no smoke. She ain't try to drive on Horston. She ain't even call for a screen to try to get around Horston. None of that. She just was giving the ball up. So you got to understand the mentality of players out there. Caitlin has the ball at the top of the key or around the side at the corner. And Horston is on her. She gives the ball up. Then she go and run around. Like, now Wheeler is looking to try to shoot her damn self. She's like, oh, I guess you don't want it. Right? She's not going to sit there and just wait for Caitlin to run around and get open. Because now, you just had the ball and you ain't do shit. Like, sometimes you got to put yourself in the mind of these players. And that whole fourth quarter was them putting Horston on Caitlin Clark and Caitlin not wanting none of that smoke. And if you're going to be honest, that's what it was. Now, it's okay. She's a rookie. I expect, third, fourth year Caitlin to be different from year one Caitlin, but we're not going to sit there and act like, they should be doing everything around her right now. She's a rookie. Why would they? She's the rookie on the team. Why would they? Like, you think she's all the spectacular, all this and that. I mean, that's okay. Then why wouldn't she just scoring on Horston? Because a player like Horston, you're going to need more than just a little drive. You're going to need more than just a step back. I even saw times where Jewell Loyd is matched up on her. Jewell Loyd immediately does what Carrington does. Just take away her left. Just play real heavy on her left side, force it to the right. You take away her left side, you ain't got to worry about the step back three. She's not that much of a threat. I know y'all don't like to hear this, but it's the truth. It is the damn truth. And then if you got a bunch of athletic athletes that are taking away the passing lanes, that's what you get. You get a stagnant offense because it's Clark-centric. Whereas Kelsey Mitchell can go out there and maybe beat somebody off the dribble. I know y'all don't want to hear this, but this is what happens. Wheeler can go out there and beat somebody off the dribble. Caitlin just had the ball and didn't do nothing. I know a lot of y'all never been out there in the court, so you don't understand. And then you think, all right, Christy Sides just run a play all the time. That's fine. Go ahead and do that. You only got so many timeouts to run a play. And then Caitlin Clark doing things that I don't want to see. She's doing a lot of stuff I don't want to see. When she don't get the ball passed to her, she thinks she ran to get the ball. Willie didn't pass the ball. She's showing her players. She's showing up her teammates. Throwing her arms in the air, wailing, all this kind of stuff. Putting her hands on her head. She need to get that shit out of her game. She need to get that. She need to correct that. Because I'm telling you, that right there that's going to be a coach killer. That's going to be a team killer. And it'll prevent them from building a team. Because I'm telling you right now, nobody wants to play with a person like that. That's going to show them up. I was watching some one of these shows, and he was suggesting how the Fever should build. And some of the things he was saying make sense. He said, get, defensive runners, who can make threes and who can cut and stuff like that. And the one name he mentioned was Dejanay Carrington. He said she might be available because the Connecticut Sun won't be able to, probably pay her, and the Fever can pay her more. Like, now, if nobody goes after her, I'm sure she would go to the Fever. And then you got an Alyssa Smith there, and they're a little nonsense. So maybe, okay? But outside of that, if it's all business and all, like, playing style and all of that, I don't know that Dejanay Carrington would want to play with Caitlin Clark. Because what happens when you play with a player like Caitlin Clark right now is the assumption that nothing is Caitlin Clark's fault. So, and the assumption that Caitlin Clark is responsible for every victory. So, every time they win, Caitlin gets all the damn credit. You get none of the credit. And every time you lose, you get all the blame. And Caitlin gets none of the blame. Who wants to play for that? Who wants to be part of a circus? And who wants to be playing with a player that when you miss a shot or you don't pass them the ball, they want to sit there and flail their arms. Oh, my God. All of that. She lucky ain't nobody punch her in the damn mouth, to be honest with you. Because that's the type of teammate I would be. I'm like, you all right? Like, if I got a teammate and they doing all that feeling, I'm like, yo, you good, homie? You good? Oh, all right. You know what I mean? It's a game. Keep hooping. Get your ass on defense. Nobody got time for that in the middle of a game. Nobody got time for that shit in the middle of a game, man. And I said, that's the difference between what I see happening with Chicago and what I see happening there. You don't see Angel Reese doing that in the middle of the game. She just keeps playing. You know why? Because she won something. She understands that. She understands that. Like, they were getting smoked yesterday by the Aces. They're up against a tougher opponent than the Fever were up against. But you never saw quit. Kept fighting, even though they were overmatched. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much my breakdown. Pretty much my breakdown, man. Both teams did what they could, but they were up against juggernauts. And it happens sometimes. You know what I mean? Peace out.